Hello friends, today I'm going to deal with the poem Keeping Quiet. I'm going to talk about the tone, the central idea, line-wise explanation, the poetic devices. All will be dealt here, so stay tuned till the end. The poet of Keeping Quiet is Pablo Neruda. He's a Latin American poet. He got Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971. The tone is contemplative, thoughtful, and introspective. The tone carries a sense of urgency for collective introspection. The poet wants all of us to introspect at the same time, to get connected within, so that we come to know what is the purpose of life. That will bring in harmony. So, central idea is staying silent is essential for introspection to know the purpose of life. Once that becomes clear, all wars and conflicts will come to an end. The peace will prevail everywhere across the world. The only problem with us is that we are not with peace with our own selves. So, if we recognize the purpose of life, what we all are here for, definitely the things will be easy, there will be harmony and peace in this world. Moving on to stanza 1. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still for once on the face of the earth. Let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. So the poet wants to say that let's count to 12 and sit still. We should not move, we should not indulge in any kind of worldly activity. So the number 12 over here is quite significant. It represents 12 zodiac signs, it represents the 12 hours on the clock and unity, like brotherhood across the world, because two hands of clock unite at number 12. He says not to indulge in any kind of worldly activity. For once on the face of the earth, the poetic device used here is personification as human traits is given to non-human. It means all countries across the world. Not to speak in any language. Language also divides us, so he is asking not to speak in any language, just to remain quiet. And he is asking just to remain quiet for a while. And counting till 12 and keeping still is juxtaposition of opposites, so poetic device will be antithesis here. So let's not speak any language means to remain quiet, as I've already told. Arms is a symbol of worldly activity. And the act symbolism over here is the act of keeping quiet symbolizes introspection, self-awareness, which will bring about harmony, unity, and peace. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would be all together in sudden strangeness. Fisherman in the cold sea would not harm whales, and man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. So it is going to be a strange moment. Exotic means strange moment, when there will be stillness and calmness all of a sudden across the world. Without rush, nobody will be in hurry because there will be no activity for a while. Without engines over here is symbol of industry, when there will be, everything will be stand still. Nobody is going to do any physical activity, so everything will come to standstill for a while, so that we are able to introspect and connect within. We would all be together in sudden strangeness. So sudden strangeness over here is alliteration, because it's repetition of the consonant sound S. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. So even the whales will get respite from being hunted. And fishermen over here represent all the people who hunt animals or they harm environment. And the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. The people who are engaged in gathering salt, they will also get time to look at their hands. So he says that sometimes even we in rush of life get hurt. and we do not get time to pay attention to our wounds. Like emotional hurt is also there. We keep rushing with life and dumps those things. So we all that requires attention. That's why there is a lot of stress, anxiety, and many mental issues that has cropped up. So we need to sit, be calm, connect within, and ponder on what is the purpose of life. So poetic devices without rush, without engine is repetition, because the word without has been repeated. Imagery is the words the words that evoke our senses. So the poet paints here vivid images of nature and human action. We can visualize fishermen catching whales and man collecting salt with wounded hands, engines rushing. All these are images. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, war with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is. I want no truck with death. So the poet says in the first line, those who prepare green wars, the people who harm nature. Green war means war against nature, war against environment, deforestation. War with gas means air pollution. War with fire means war with weapon. So victory with no survivors. Now what kind of merriment we can go for? What kind of victory we can boast of when there will be no survivors left? If we are going for these kinds of wars, we are harming environment and nothing will be left later on. Then he says, if we sit still, what is going to happen? We will connect within, we will get to know about the purpose of life, and then everyone will get a chance, especially those who are engaged in killing each other, soldiers and all, would put on clean clothes because there will be no wars, and walk about with their brothers. Brothers over here means maybe people from the other countries with whom they had animosity earlier, but now once they have become aware of everything, aware of their own selves, they feel that the same soul pervades everywhere and everyone becomes brother. There is a feeling of fraternity and brotherhood. In the shade means protection of each other. Doing nothing means they are not fighting with each other, they are calm. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. The poet says that I don't want that it is total inactive state. I want that you should stay still for a while, but your mind should be active and you should ponder and think and introspect and see that why we are here on this earth. We should know the real purpose of life. Life is what it is about. We should live life. I want no truck with death. He says that total inactivity should not be equivalent to death. He is not asking that we should be that inactive as if a person is dead. He says that for a while, I just want that you should be active mentally, spiritually, so that you connect within and get to know about the real purpose of life. So poetic devices, green war symbolize war against nature, deforestation, destruction of environment. War with gas symbolizes industrial pollution. War with fire symbolizes war with weapons. Victory with no survivors is irony. So what kind of victory it would be when there will be nobody to celebrate? Clean clothes is alliteration, as consonant sound of C has been repeated. K sound is repeated, gets repeated. It also becomes symbol of clothes free of blood stains. The way I have told the soldiers, they will get chance to wear clean clothes. Shade is a metaphor. It refers to protection, and brother is symbol of mankind. Moving on to stanza 4. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could perhaps a huge silence might interrupt the sadness of never understanding ourselves, and of threatening ourselves with death. Now it says we are so much focused on earning a living, just keeping our life moving. We are not living, it is survival what we are doing. And the sad state of affairs is that we have got life and we do not know what is the purpose of life. That's why it is said, and for once could perhaps a huge silence. The silence, the connect within, is going to bring about enlightenment. We will connect with our own selves and we will come to know, and that's going to interrupt the sadness of not understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. We are scared of death and we feel that we are short of time and we are just rushing. We are not living, we are just surviving. That is the sad state of affairs. That's why there is so much of conflict, so much of war, so much of pain on this earth. So Poetic Devices used single-minded means our whole focus is on surviving, making living, selfish materialistic mindset. Sadness is about living without knowing our purpose of life. We have become strangers to our own selves, just sleepwalking through life. Moving on to stanza 5, perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive, now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So the poet says earth can teach us the way the earth remains covered with snow during winters and it seems that everything is dead, but then there comes spring and everything sprouts in spring. So he comes to this kind of thing that we should learn from earth. That moment of stillness where we think that everything seems to be dead, but that moment the rebirth of a person will take place. We will be reborn when we will get connected to our soul and we will come to know that what is our purpose of life. Then we will come to know that the whole earth will be at peace as there will be no conflict. The same soul pervades everyone. Everyone will get to know that we all are same and there will be brotherhood and fraternity and love and peace prevailing on this earth. So the poet in the end says, now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So he urges everyone that we should remain quiet, try to connect within and know who we really are. The poetic device used here is personification. Earth can teach us. Teach is normally used for human beings, so the word earth is used, teach is used here for earth, so it is personification. I hope you guys have understood the poem. Stay tuned for more such explanations. Thank you. Bye-bye.